What's good, YouTube? In this video we're going to be talking about how to reach masters or pred while solo queuing. Now, I have done multiple videos when it comes to solo queue and guides on solo queuing, and I understand it's very tough to solo queue, so this is the reason why I love making these videos, to help you guys. Now, the difference between this video and my other videos will be because of the two main legends that we will be talking about when it comes to doing good or getting better when it comes to solo queuing, and these two legends are Bangalore and Pathfinder. Now, also later in the video, after I talk about these two legends, Bangalore and Pathfinder, I will give additional tips when it comes to solo queuing and how you could win more games and also rank up more. But the first legend that we want to talk about is Bangalore. Bangalore is one of the best legends, if not the best legend, when it comes to solo queue. When it comes to Bangalore, the reason why she is good when it comes to solo queuing is because of her smoke. Now, her smokes are good because it could honestly determine the game and how the game is played. The reason why I say that is because when you smoke the enemies, if you have a digi-threat gun like the hammer point guns or submachine guns, and if the enemies don't have those, then you have an upper advantage with seeing the enemies and shooting them, and they can't see you. So if you play it right and if you play Bangalore right, which I show many examples in this video, definitely have a good chance of dominating that game individually with Bangalore because of her smoke. Now, let's say later in the rounds the enemies start choosing hammer point guns or submachine guns with digi threats. Now all you're doing with Bangalore is just blocking the enemy's line of sight, and maybe you're going to go grab the heals, because grabbing heals as a solo queue person is big time. If you could grab heals, especially within the first 3 rounds, if you could grab those heals, give them to your teammate and give them to yourself, and not have the enemies have those heals, it's going to be big time, because then there you guys could just simply out damage the enemies and outlive the enemies just because you have extra heals and more heals and the enemies don't. So you guys can win more rounds and win more games just off that strategy. Now, when it comes to solo queuing, you want to support your teammates as much as possible. When you play Bangalore, you could do that. Like I said, with grabbing the heals, because you could block the enemy's line of sight with the smokes, and you could grab the heals from the supply bin, or you could smoke the supply bin easily. Also, other ways that you could support your teammates when it comes to playing Bangalore are gold bag. To be honest with you guys, yes, of course, Lifeline is the best with gold bag. But other than Lifeline, Bangalore is one of the legends that are top tier with gold bag, right? You smoke your teammates and you res them. So often when I play Bangalore, I'm grabbing gold bag around rounds like 3, 4, around that area where I have enough materials. It helps the teammates out a lot, because once you get gold bag, I mean, you're gonna know that, random teammates, they can be a struggle. So they could go down often, and like I said, you want to support your random teammates as much as possible. So having gold bag is going to help out a lot. Also, when it comes to supporting your teammates, I mean, if the enemies are in a bad spot, bad position, as long as you're looking over them, you can smoke them out, maybe give them an easy access to cross. They're in a bad spot, or maybe if there's a situation where they're healing, you can smoke them there. I mean, there's just so many ways you can use Bangalore to help your teammates. Now, yes, you can hurt your teammates when you're playing Bangalore, but my advice on that is to, play Bangalore, learn how to use her, learn how to understand how to use the smoke to benefit your teammates and yourself. And like I said, Bangalore is one of the best legends when it comes to solo queue. I'm telling you, she has won me a lot of games because individually you could just dominate the game as Bangalore. Now, the second half of this video we'll be talking about Pathfinder, and Pathfinder is also a legend who I consider as one of the best, if not the best legends when it comes to solo queue, or just individually just the best legend in ranked arenas. The reason for that is because just like Bangalore, Pathfinder can individually take over the game. Now, when I say that because majority of the time, for instance, Bangalore, she has her smokes, and you compare that up with hammer points. And you guys know that hammer points are one of the best weapons in the game, just like how I described in my last video. And Pathfinder, what a lot of Pathfinders do is they use the devotion, and they can dominate the game easily with a devotion, or even a charged up rampage, or even hammer points if you want to go that route. But the reason why Pathfinders use LMGs to dominate the game is because they have that grapple. Now the reason why a devotion or a charge rampage, which I do use the rampage in this video with Pathfinder, he's the second half of the video where I have two gameplays. It's Bangalore and Pathfinder. The second half of the video is going to be on Pathfinder. The reason why Pathfinders dominate with those LMGs that are really strong are because they have the grapple, and they'll do damage to the enemies, and what they'll do is they'll grapple to you or to the enemies, and because they have one of the strongest guns in the game, they'll easily wipe out that enemy and win their 1v1s because of that. So that's the reason why I say Pathfinders individually are game changing. They dominate the game. As a solo queue person, you need to have this advantage, so having a legend like Pathfinder is going to help you out a lot. Now, other reasons when it comes to solo queue with Pathfinder, like I said, you want to support your teammates as much as possible, and Pathfinder fits that role. Now, he fits that role as individual purpose and also as a team purpose with his abilities. His grapple allows you to grab the heals individually and also grab very good positioning, so it allows you to gain space where the enemies can't push up. So this will back the enemies up far, and it allows your two random teammates to push up without getting shot, and that's big. You know, you want it, like I said, that's helping your teammates out a lot, because I truly believe when it comes to solo queue, you want to be in front of your random teammates. You want to be the one pressuring the enemies, because if you have your random teammates do that, like I said, majority of the time the random teammates aren't as good, so they'll probably lose their 1v1s or just get team shot or something. So that's why you don't want to be in the back. And when you play a legend like Pathfinder, you're going to be in the front easily. And even if you're not someone who's good at being in the front to take a 1v1 or something like that, you have a zipline. A zipline is going to help your teammates and you get to the middle of the map or get to power positions, and that's going to support and help your teammates out a lot. They could grab the heals if they wanted to. They could get good positioning. I mean, Pathfinder, that's what makes him really good. Like I said, there's going to be examples of how I play Pathfinder in the background of this video, so make sure you keep an eye out on that. So those are the two legends that I have as the best solo queue legends. Pathfinder and Bangalore, those two legends can individually dominate the game, and they can help the teammates as well with multiple different ways. Now some extra tips that I wanted to say when it comes to solo queuing is, like I said, always keep an eye out on your teammate. You know, you could be any legend. If you have to, if you see your teammate struggling, or especially if you see one teammate that's really struggling, if you have to, you know, follow him and, you know, stand next to him to help him out and give him confidence, then, you know, do that, because you don't want your teammates to go by themselves and, you know, lose a 1v1, because they're gonna get knocked, and once they get knocked, it becomes a 2v3 and you guys are down a person, and it's not gonna help you guys out a lot. Keep an eye out on your teammates. Other ways to keep an eye out on your teammates is watch over them from different angles. Make sure they don't get pushed from, you know, different angles. Communication is key as well. When you communicate with your teammates, you don't have to have a mic for this, but obviously if you have a mic, that's going to be good as well. But when you communicate with your teammates, like you spam ping, if you spam ping, then you're letting your teammates know that there's an enemy going towards you, or they're very low. So that's good communication as well. Also, when you communicate, like, you know how, like, when you guys choose your guns, you're in that lobby or you're in your spawn, it helps when you're positive, right? If you're positive, telling your teammates, you know, we got this, you know, even if they did something good last round, tell them, you know, good job or nice, you know, tell them something good where it will help your random teammates, you know, boost their confidence. You know, that's something that I do a lot when it comes to when I'm playing with random teammates. Or sometimes, you know, if you have to call them out, I guess that can work sometimes, but also just know that can also hurt your teammates as well, and that's something that we don't want to do. But like I said, the two biggest things that I want to say when it comes to solo queue, just watching over your teammates and just supporting them as much as possible. You know, in my opinion, supporting them is really grabbing the heals and being in front, you know, trying to get as much damage as possible, trying to get the first knock, but make sure you stay alive though. You don't want to get knocked, especially if you're solo queue, because it's hard to depend on random teammates. Now, the benefits when it comes to solo queuing, yes, there are benefits when it comes to solo queuing compared to 3 stacking. And the benefits are, there are opportunities to get high point games. Now, this is more often in solo queue, because when you solo queue, you could get those bad or low level teammates, And if you win against a team that's around your skill level or even higher, and if you have lower ranked teammates, you're gonna get big games, right? And when I say big games, you're gonna get high point games, and that's gonna help out a lot. And also, even if you lose those games, it's only going to be a -12, so it's not going to be it's not going to be too damaging. Also, another benefit when it comes to solo queue is that the enemies honestly aren't really try hard. So because of that, you know, if you're a try hard, you should feel confident to win that game. And like I said, I don't know if I mentioned this in the beginning of the video, but we went from Plat 1 to, as a placement, to Pred. We got Pred because it was early in the split. But Plat 1 to Masters or Pred, and half of these games that I've played in the split were from playing as a team, or half the games that I played were from playing as a solo. So I wanted to give this video out to you guys to help you guys with solo queuing. The last like 10 to 15 games that I played were solo queue, so I know, you know, how it feels. You know, sometimes you get bad random teammates, and it's a struggle to play as a solo queue. But I hope this video helps you guys when it comes to solo queuing. If you guys did like this video, let me know down in the comment section. Also, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one.